Well, last episode we spent a lot of time, probably way too much time, trying to figure out the logic on this thing. Hopefully it's all functional, except for there's a little bit of weirdness when these tanks get full. I'm curious what these timers might be able to do for us. So let me just unlock this and see what we got. So there's a delay. I'm not sure what these are, but okay. So I might be able to use these as... Yeah, I might be able to use some of these as a little bit of just to prevent the blinking, right, when the water's sloshing. So just a little bit of a filter of some kind. I don't actually want you to build that there, but thank you. But we're at a 180-day drought, which is very impressive. We're definitely getting this tank done in that time. We might be able to get some of this done in that time. I'm also thinking, hey, it's time. I'm again starting to get a little bit worried about our water production capabilities. So I think we want to start hooking up these, and I think we're gonna use our tunnel system and kind of go over this. There is kind of a little bit of a bridge here, which will be interesting, but go over here and try to hook these up so that once again we can make sure we can fill all of our water tanks in time. Anyway, that's the agenda for today. We have 180 days to just let things run, and I'm going to watch this and make sure it's actually working properly these days. So, again, hopefully this tank empties first, and then this tank empties, and then finally this tank empties. That's the hope, and we'll see how well it does. Okay, I added some timers in here. All these do is it should mean that these will be sticky by an hour. So they'll be open for an hour after this turns off, and they won't turn on until this has been going for an hour. So the fill valves are now hooked up to the filter. The filter is hooked up to this thing, and that should and all its other logic, right? So that should help with the bouncy. Hopefully. We'll see if that works. And I'm also thinking, something like that could be done to maybe make these better without too much extra logic. Basically, when something down here where it's like, this is open to the target height, obviously, until this turns on, and then we wait for this to be on for a certain period of time, and until that happens, this is just shut. And then once this has been on for, again, a certain period of time, after the tank is empty, hopefully, then we open up the second tank. And then then this tank would be hooked up to that off switch, basically, and this one would be hooked up to this. So again, maybe. I'm thinking about it. Other news, we are building our tunnel over here. It looks, yeah, so I figure this is a good spot to access our tunnel network. And then we're going to go ahead and give this an impermeable floor so that it just doesn't let the water out, because that would be very silly. It's just the height is perfect. And then if we go down here, we can see we're going past. It looks like I need to put in more impermeable floors. But we have a cute little bridge, and then we're going to bring water from, and again, this way we can sort of work from a variety of directions here, although I need to wait until this is out of water before I can actually do that, otherwise, or flooding issues, right? So, and then over here we got our two aquifer drills, and it's going to be hooked up to power, which I haven't done yet. Oopsies. They're working on it. So again, we're going to hook it up to this geothermal and then maybe some gravity batteries. I'm not sure yet. I should probably hook it up to the main system too, but you know, just making progress. The water tanks are about to do the thing. I just want to watch the water tanks do the thing. Although I have sort of realized that having a delay on the on might not be good, because that will result in either some... Well, I'm worried about flooding, and I'm worried about stalled pumps. So they will set to that number, which is a number that... Okay, so we've measured low. The pumps should activate. Pumps should activate? Question mark. My pumps are not activating. Why not? My pumps should be activating. This is why we watch these things. Why is my pumps not running? Okay. My pumps are paused. Why? Because do not run the pumps is on. Why is do not run the pump on? I thought I was done with this. We should have been done with this. Okay. Don't run the pumps on is because the tanks are full or empty. Okay. Tanks full or empty is saying tanks full weather check. Tanks full weather check is saying it is not the wet season and 3 tanks empty. That should be an and. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I didn't break things again. Okay. This is why this is why we check things. Okay, so now the pumps are running, the batteries are draining, and our tank is filling. Hooray! How high is it going to fill? Right now it's set to fill up to 28.45. Now hopefully, once it gets up there... Okay, see? Okay. So there was a little delay, and once it got above that number, then it says, okay, put the rest over here. Right? It's just like, dump the rest over here, and the pumps should be stopping. The pumps are still running. The pumps are still running. Why are the pumps still running? It's filling up this one! It's filling up that one! Right? Oh, the pumps are still running because you hit low. You must have hit low. And so now it's taking the water from that tank and putting it into both of those tanks, because of course both of these tanks would hit low at the same time. They both have the exact same evaporation size. So of course, so it's doing exactly what I want it to do. Of course the pumps are still running. It hasn't filled up both these tanks yet. And now look, wow! I mean, we're barely into this drought, and look how much this tank has dropped, because again we just topped off these tanks. And now this tank is full. Now the extra is draining back into this tank, which is exactly what we want. Yes! 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 It's so cool! It's so cool! And even though this is, you know, broken, it's fine because... Yes! Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I think it works. I think it works for real this time. And there's no bobbling of the things. The timers, I think they're working great. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, there's still, again, there's maybe a little bit of optimization that can be done with these down there, but otherwise, this system, it feels really good. It feels really, really good. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna let the beavers do their thing. We need stuff to run here. Our batteries are recharging, which is great. And although, yeah, no, that's right. Okay, yeah, we're gonna let beavers do things. They need to finish this tank up. They need to build that tunnel, and yeah, I'll probably see you all at the end of this drought, maybe somewhere around there. Unless something interesting happens. 110 days into the drought. We are about to run out of water here, which means all these trees are dead. Oh well, I mean, I'm doing really well on logs right now. Although they're not building this out as nearly as fast as I thought they would. I'm not quite sure why we're being so slow over here. Anyway, this is about to kick on. So what should happen here is that now that this is really... Oh, I realized that I could set this up really easily. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so okay, yes, good. So our pumps have kicked on. This is interesting. Are you actually draining from here? A little bit? It feels like you are, even though that's interesting. If my target height went way below, it's kind of wow. The pumps, I guess, are really powerful, huh? Well, I mean, they're pumping. That's their job. And then once this is full, it's gonna put any excess back into here. But since this is empty, it should shut the pumps off. Because right now what we're doing is we are, of course, taking water from this tank and putting it back into that tank. Why? Okay, don't waste water. 2 should... Alright. Now you... I think I realized, if you guys remember, there was one, it was this one, that was not hooked up to anything, and then I think I missed an entire section of my logic, and unfortunately I deleted my logic blocks because unconstructed buildings just add lag. So, and again, it is sort of this check of, if this tank is empty, right, this tank and this tank are going to have the exact same problems. Is that that we solve this one with a weather check, but this one needs to say, if this is empty, I don't need to be filled up. And this one needs to say, if this one is empty, I don't need to be filled up, right? So basically, if you remember, we had a check if 3 tanks are empty, right? Which is, don't run the pumps, which are currently running, because I haven't fixed my logic yet. But don't run the pumps if 3 tanks are empty. Well, yes, but also don't run the pumps if, you know, you just take out 1 tank. So you just... But right, so now I don't want to run the pumps because this tank is empty, right? And then I won't want, and then when these 2 are full, I don't want to run the pumps, or when this is full and this is half full, I don't want to run the pumps because these 2 are empty, right? So the check if 3 tanks are empty logic, I think, was just sort of flawed in that that check needs to be applied to every tank. So the whole system's bunk. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I'll figure something out eventually. But, yeah, I mean, it's not like we're anywhere short on water. We still have... I mean, this tank lasted 110 days, which is more than I expected, but also I have to remember that this tank was not functional, so I didn't have evaporation on this tank. And... So, anyway, I need to redo all my I don't know. I don't know what I need to do. But it's certainly going to be a pain. Okay, I took a bit of time. I slept on it. I think I come up with, well, multiple solutions, but I think the best one is instead of reset when the tank is full, see, as we sort of learned here, when this is being slammed on here, or I guess, actually, right, when this reset button is being slammed, the node is off. And which means even if it might not be perfectly good programming protocol to keep pressing the reset button like this, it seems to work in the game. So what we do is I have a new thing here, so ignore secondary low. So basically, and I'm going to do this with all of them here, so instead of primary tank low, we ignore primary tank low. And instead of we're going to ignore quaternary tank low. Now I've completely removed. I'll show you how this works in a second, or at least how it hopefully works. Come on. Okay, ignore quaternary tank low, and over here ignore tertiary. Okay, so now as soon as I unpause, the pumps are paused. Why are the pumps paused? Because why isn't ignore tertiary low should be on? Because you are set to and not or. Okay, yeah, okay, there we go. So here, so I've this used to be the 3 empty tank check down here, and the don't run pumps. I've moved don't run pumps over to here. It is now much simpler logic. This is simply check if the wet season is soon or the tanks are full. That's all it checks. So that's much simpler. We don't bother checking to see how much stuff is, because this should take over that. So the ignore primary low says if the primary tank is full, which is what it used to be, but also or the secondary tank is empty, right? If the primary tank is full or the secondary tank is empty, do not request water, right? So each tank sort of can request water when it wants to be filled up, but if the preceding tank is empty, do not bother to request water, because there is no water for you to be filled, right? And then the quaternary low is now if it's not wet season or the tank is full, right? So right, basically if it's not the wet season or it's right, or if it's full, I don't need the tank running, right? Because it's full. But if it's not the wet season, I also don't need the tank running, right? Because I don't have a previous tank for this. If I had a previous tank for this tank, this would be that previous tank, right? Quintenary? I don't even know. But if there was another tank, that would be that. So this is the only one that's different. And again, these ones say, okay, well, the tertiary, I don't care if the tertiary tank is low if the quaternary tank is empty, right? And I don't care if the secondary tank is low if this tank is empty. Now, I do realize that this means that right now the primary tank is not going to request water because the secondary tank is empty, which means while I could ship water from here to here, it's not going to, because it's looking here and saying, hey, there's no water here, so I'm not going to bother requesting water, which is fine for the little bit of drought we have left here. So hopefully that makes sense. This should be all exactly the same, which means that if for whatever reason the pumps do kick on, it should put water into the primary tank anyway. But that's just a little mismatch that shouldn't matter. Fingers crossed. Famous last words. Now, I was thinking of also of instead doing this on, instead of on the reset, I could do this on the set. So here we are. So instead of, say here, instead of doing, wait, up here. Right, so instead of on the reset, I could do something on the set that checks, is there room in the next tank But I realized this. If I do it on the set, there's a chance that the previous tank, runs out while it's trying to fill up the tank, and because then it would never hit that reset value because it would never fill up all the way because there's no water to fill up all the way. It would then go into that loop of endlessly trying to refill because it would never. If we never hit high, we never get that reset, and then suddenly, it's still trying to fill up the tank, even though there was water when we started, but there isn't water any now, right? I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I didn't want to do it that way. I'd also have to put some NOT gates down here, which I think I want to do anyway because I think the NOT gates will be great for hooking up these things. So let's just stick in some relays down here, and these are going to be not empties. I hope I have. Can I do not empties? Anyway, no, that's not what I wanted. Anyway, so the state of the game is the logic is broken because this tank is empty. I guess what I can do, no, just fill this up, fix this, and then we'll just ship all the water from here to here and make sure it works, okay? Okay, the secondary tank is done to the point where it shouldn't flood because it should be higher than the water. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to our secondary tank high, and we're going to set this to its proper measurement of 28 and a half and a little bit less. And what that should do is cause the pumps to run. They should immediately start filling up this, at which point my primary tank should realize that, hey, I can request water because there's water in here, so now the primary tank is filling. And but in general, it should take all the water out of here and put it into first here and then here. And can I run a time lapse? Do I have the technology for that? I'm not sure. Let's see if I can do a time lapse here. And just like that, this tank is now registering as empty, which means this pump is no longer requesting water. And so we successfully moved all the water in this tank to this tank. Yeah, okay, there's a little bit of drips in there, but yeah, awesome. Okay, well with that, I think we'll probably call this episode here, and I'll see you guys in the next one, huh?